Picture magic is a very common and convenient form of magic because we are living in this digital age where social media is such a prevalent part of our lives. Magic and witchcraft adjusts and adapts to our everyday life. So, where at one point a practitioner may have had to take a personal item belonging to a person in order to curse that person, but now they can attach witchcraft to a target directly through photos. Hello, soul family. It is Oshun Kimmy, mother of mysteries, she who ventures into the dark unknown and comes back with enlightenment. And today I am going to explain how picture magic works, some signs of picture magic, and of course, how to take protective measures against picture magic if someone is trying to send witchcraft to you using your photos. So firstly, how picture magic works. Picture magic is what we'd call a representative type of magic, which simply means that it is a magic that sends energy to a target using a representation of that person. So when dealing with any type of representative magic, the idea is that whatever a practitioner does or speaks over the photo or the representation of the person is going to affect the everyday reality and condition of the person whose photos is being used. And I want to clarify right now that all magic is neutral. What makes magic baneful or bad is how a person uses it. So for our conversation, we are talking about baneful or harmful uses of picture magic, but it's important for us to understand that picture magic can indeed be used for healing purposes as well, which we'll get a little bit into at the end of this video. So there are a few ways that pictures can be used to attach curses to a person, and they range from simple to more complex. So something as simple as a practitioner speaking negativity over a person's photo, or even a group of people gossiping about a person's photo can be used to send negative energy to that person. I've already talked in a previous video about how gossip is the oldest form of witchcraft, okay? And then there are more complex and harmful ways of using picture magic, which may involve things like burying a person's photo in a graveyard or putting a person's photo in a palo pot. An Apollo pot is a pot that contains a dead spirit. So you will usually see these types of spell work in unaliving magic. So this is where we are getting into more baneful magic for sure. And please note that everything that I share is simply information I wish I had known and understood once I became aware that someone was using cemetery magic on me, because ignorance is one of the main things that can keep us from being able to protect ourselves. So we have to know how these things work in order to know what the remedy for these types of things are. And so this video is not to encourage people to do this type of magic. So please be responsible with the information that I am offering on this channel. Ashe, ashe. So now let's get into some signs that picture magic may be affecting a person's life. And so, of course, since pictures usually capture our face and we take photos when we are looking and feeling our best, a major sign of picture magic is changes to one's physical appearance, particularly their face, their skin, their teeth, or their hair. And so relatedly, picture magic may also affect your self-esteem and your sense of glamour and beauty. Now let's get into some signs specifically that someone's picture has been combined with cemetery magic or has been placed into a palo pot with a dead spirit. And so the number one sign that there may be death or death spirit attached to someone's photos is that they begin to see shadows or dark orbs around them or even within their home. Hearing voices may also be a sign of having entities attached to a person's photo as well, but hearing voices can also be related to other types of baneful magic too. And so kind of related to this is that a person may also feel watched or like a presence is trailing them around. Another sign that a negative spirit may be attached to someone's photo is that the person may begin to have very dark dreams or even trouble sleeping at all, because if it's not clear by now, once a spirit attaches to a photo, it is going to also attach to the person in the photo. So think of the photo essentially as a portal that allows the spirit to travel from the practitioner who sent or conjured the spirit to the person in the photo. And so the idea of picture magic is that it is a magic by proxy. where, as I was saying in the beginning, whatever is done to the representation of the person, aka the photo, is essentially what is going to manifest in that person's reality. Things like nightmares and insomnia will begin to occur as well if a spirit is attached to a person's photo, because once the spirit is attached to the photo, the spirit is going to then begin an infiltration process where the spirit is going to begin the task of infiltrating and invading that person's energy body and weakening that person's aura. Then when the spirit is beginning the infiltration process, this can cause disturbances to their sleep patterns and to their dreams. So photos can be used to initiate entity attachments where the spirit sent through the photo will begin working towards attaching to the person's physical body, which is most commonly done, as I was saying, during sleep. So now let's talk about some remedies. The best remedy for picture magic is for you to counter it with picture magic of your own, and of course with your spiritual cleansings. And I'm starting to simply just say spiritual cleansings instead of spiritual baths, because people take the word bath way too literally. You do not have to, nor do I recommend that you actually sit in a bath when you are trying to banish an entity. So this is where spiritual washes and spiritual showers come in, where you do boil the herbs and prepare the herbal water, but instead of bathing and sitting in it, you pour it directly over yourself, and then you let yourself air dry. And so in my personal experience, that is the best way to remove an entity or an energy off of your aura, is to take a spiritual shower or a spiritual wash rather than an actual bath. Now, when it comes to preparing the herbal wash, there are particular herbs that are most efficient against palo and cemetery spirits. And some of these herbs include things like Quita Maldiciones, Yagrumo, Yo Puedo Que Más Tú, and blue vervain as well. And so all herbs that I get off of Etsy. But if you have a spiritual botanica in your area, especially one that is ran by a Tata or a Yaya, which are Palo priests, then you may be able to get these particular herbs in person. If not, just get them off Etsy. Now, when it comes to doing your own picture magic to counter any baneful magic or incantations that is spoken over your photos, you can do this most efficiently by setting up an altar to yourself, smudge yourself and your photos, and then pray over your photos and do different types of spiritual protection rituals over those photos specifically, because the same way that someone can use photos to curse, you can use your photos to bless. So to get a deeper understanding of how to set up an altar to yourself, what goes on it, and how to work it properly to protect yourself, then I'd recommend joining us on the Patreon, because we just had a really good lecture and workshop all about picture magic. And if any of the signs and symptoms of picture magic that I discussed today sounds familiar to you, and you need one-on-one guidance as to what to do about your particular spiritual situation, please feel free to book a reading with me. There will be a link for readings and the Patreon in the pinned comments below. May every viewer of this video be empowered and enlightened by these words and by this truth. So shall it be. Ashe.